Kirsten Liebelt. Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome in. Come on in. It is 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and we are doing our insulin resistant show. That's such a boring name. We should name this. Oh, I see my picture is crooked. Doggone it. Anyway, anyhoodle. Good morning. It's a Wednesday. It's really good to see you guys. How are you doing? It's middle of the week. You know, if you pause sometimes and you just assess without shame, remember, no shame, just assess where you are this week. Like, has it been a week where you are, good morning, hello, good to see you. Assess where you are. Like, how I got to where I am is very much, and I'm still on my journey just like you are, so don't think that I've arrived anywhere. No, this is a lifelong journey, right? But I gave myself like this journey of assessing, and nobody else is going to do it for you. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but maybe I will for just a second. So, like I've said before, I was raised by a type 2 dad and in an Italian family. And his life just tanked in his 50s, right? So his life tanks and his health, right? And then he's dead at 63. That's how this went. And I was 30 at the time. My kids were 6'3" and 6 months old when he died. And all of this obesity and type 2 diabetes in my Italian family. And it's very easy to choose to just stay on the river of what you know and what you've experienced and not go down the road of, I feel like I need to probably assess a little bit and pay attention to what's going on. And my head, like if you could if you could touch my head, it would be like steel. I was very hard-headed. I'm just telling you right now, very hard-headed. Good morning, Terry. Oh, that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. You're so sweet. In fact, did I respond to you, Terry? I read your text that you sent me, and I was just like, I'm so grateful for you. I don't remember if I responded. I think I did. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to like get distracted there for a second, but Terry, just, a little bit of love there. Anyway, and so taking that journey of assessing, you guys, I'm just telling you, every time I talk to somebody in terms of like business, like if you're on my business team or if you are trying to work your food journey or whatever it is, I'm telling you, it is so much about mindset. We want it to be X's and O's all the time, but sometimes it's just mindset. So I say that just to say, even if you do a little bit of assessing halfway through every single week for yourself, you'll be amazed at how you can just be like, you don't have to be shaming yourself about it. Don't be doing none of that. But you do have to sometimes say, oh, you know what? Like for me, this would have been me in my first 3 to 4 years of trading up my foods. All right. Well, I admit it, not to anybody else, but to myself. I was eating kind of a lot of sweet potato fries or I keep telling myself that dates are natural sugar, so it's fine. That was another one for me. I mean, how ridiculous. Thank you for your hearts, you guys. Thank you on TikTok. I so appreciate you guys. You have no idea. Double tap the screen. It gets attention. Good morning, Patty. Okay, good, Terry. Oh, that's so funny. Just don't mind me in my head. I just so appreciate it because it gets the word out. So today what we are going to talk about, so now you can decide whether you want to hit the like button, subscribe, share, do all the things, tell your friends, get your daughters and your daughter-in-laws engaged, find a buddy to do this with, all of that good stuff. Today we're going to actually talk about why the diabetic food guidelines are keeping you stuck in what I eat. I'm going to talk about me today. To avoid type 2 diabetes and feel good daily. And I'm telling you, I wish that I could bottle up how I feel and then release it so that you go, oh, that's what I could feel like. Now, I'm not talking about I wake up and I'm like, it's perfection every day. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about how we know what it's like when we wake up and we feel like trash, or we feel achy, or we feel sluggish, or we're like, oh, our brain fog is just like, oh, and it takes us like 2 hours to wake up and we're drinking coffee. That's not my world. And it's not because I have a special genetic code or because I have a special like package that I got to open up that somebody else didn't get to open up in life. Like my cards in life, my cards actually looked like you're going to be type 2 diabetic. You are going to be on many medications. You are going to like be probably very obese. I was a 2X when I entered my 50s. And now I'm a large. And like I said, I'm still on my journey too, right? I'm still like for real. You guys, I have such a hard time buying clothes for myself. You have no idea. I feel like there is, if I was ever to, Colin, I don't like to label anything. I really don't. I don't like that at all. But when your body composition changes, I've had to be super intentional in the last year to try to find clothes for my body type. I don't mean like there's body dysmorphia. Some people have body dysmorphia. I mean more like my shape has changed. It was changing in one direction because of, hormones, and all of a sudden you're gaining weight in areas you didn't know you had. You're not happy about that. And insulin is a hormone, by the way. But then when you begin to lose weight, there are ways that I feel like my body has returned to its more youthful self. There are parts where I feel like I never ever thought, like before I started the orange pixie stick, the fat burning pixie stick thing that I talk about all the time. Before I did that, I never thought I'd be able to get rid of certain areas of my hips. Still working on that too. But for the most part, my body composition changes, and then buying clothes is different. So I do feel like I have a block. This is not the conversation today, by the way, but I just want you to know that this is what I'm going through. I do feel like my mind doesn't quite know yet what clothes to go and purchase that look good on me. So, and I go in these little spurts of, like I'll go to consignment shops or whatever, because I kind of want to just try things out and see what styles I like. Anyway, it doesn't matter. My point is that I'll still get dressed though for a business meeting like I did last night. And I'm like, it's not what I was looking for. It's fine. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not going to keep it from like going to a business meeting and serving people. And I'm not going to let it stop me from doing stuff. Maybe I used to do that in my 30s, but I don't do that anymore. I'm 60. I've learned that, having that level of self-deprecation or whatever is not benefiting anybody. Like that keeps me then from doing this. Like if I didn't come online and talk to you guys every day because I was worried about how I looked all the time, I know that I go online without a good hair day. Like, hello, we all do that, right? No big deal. Who cares? I've been online now for so long that like, trust me, there are many videos I go, what was I thinking? It doesn't matter. Okay. I digress. But my point is that I'm still working on finding my shape and the clothes that fit my shape. What shape am I? What clothes will fit that? I've Googled things. I've YouTubed things. Like this is the process, right? You have to go through the process. So when it comes to food trade outs, and I have this conversation with, thank you, Claudette. Thank you. I got these last December. So I probably haven't worn them as much. She's talking about my glasses. I go to this is a little side tip for y'all girls, little side tip. There's an online store called Zenni, Zenni. And I've been using them for years, like 8, 9, 10 years, because I can get bifocals like this. I used to be able to get progressive lenses like this for $50. Now with inflation, maybe they're $75. But just telling you can get more expensive than that. But I've just figured out how to, like, you can upload your face and then you try on frames. I know what looks good, whatever. I figured that out. See, I figured out my glasses. Now I just have to figure out my clothing. Okay. So when I talk to people about trading out their foods, nobody understands this more than I do. And I need you to hear me on this. Being Italian, I really did think that this was going to be the hardest thing that I ever accomplished in my life. In fact, I thought it was never going to happen. How would I ever overcome the conversations in my head or the connections? But what I want to let people know is that taking a couple of years, mine were 3 to 4 years of trading out my food ingredients, was the best, well invested time I have ever spent in my life. because that, now going back to the beginning of this live, that is a big reason why I wake up and I don't ache, why I don't crash my energy all day long. Eat, crash, eat, crash, eat, crash. That's not my world. I'm not constantly, there's that cycle that I was in for a very long time before I traded out my ingredients and even after I did, where I would maybe just continually overeat certain things. Like I talk about how I can overeat nuts, right? Where you just are on a hamster wheel. You're just not moving because you are self-sabotaging as you're going. But if I bring to the table today, which this is what I'm doing, and talk to you about like some logistics, I feel like this can really help you navigate better and to understand. So the first step that I'm going to talk about is the fact that we are given really, 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 really bad guidelines from the medical community. They're really trash. And you have to, this is the premise that I start at. I was super shocked when people would tell me, like in my messages, how many carbs that they were told that they could eat by their medical provider. I thought, this can't be true. This is like a joke. This is a joke. I had already started studying Maria Emmerich and Dr. Ken Berry. I had already started paying attention to things, and I thought this had to be a lie. Well, of course it wasn't. Hold on, I'm going to pull up my notes here. So I had something really good there. So when I look at the standard diabetic guidelines, which I didn't know existed, because you have to remember, I'm the one in my family that avoided type 2 diabetes. Now, it's always a God thing, right? Because it wasn't because I was so dang smart. I was just really stubborn, and I was kind of hard-headed, and I was scared. So because I was scared of going to the doctor to find out what was really going on with me, I just did things on my own, and I told nobody what was in my head. Nobody. And that's when I talk about how I was assessing how much I was drinking in a day, how much I was peeing in a day, whether or not my sores were healing, because these are all the things that were just drilled into my brain because of my dad having type 2 diabetes. And I watched him with his sores on his legs that never healed. Like, this was not confusing to me. So I never did go down the route of spending much time going to doctor's appointments and getting guidelines. That's why when you guys started telling me about your guidelines and whatever, I was like, are you serious right now? That's not true. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's true. Well, now we have the testimonies, right? Like, think about Sue. Sue, 1 year ago, started listening to my content. She started trading out her foods. Okay. She had 30 years of the medical community telling her a certain way of living. And she just kept getting sicker and more medicated. She starts listening. She changes out her foods. She gets on targeted supplementation. And in 1 year, she loses 50 pounds and 10 meds. Okay. So this is why I get super passionate about it. And there was another testimony that I did the other day where in 5 months, she said she had spent 3 years following the food pyramid from the medical community, what they told her to do. And she was like, so like frustrated. In 5 months, she got off of 2 meds. She started targeted supplementation, trading out her food ingredients, off of 2 meds, and lost 20 pounds. So I'm just telling you, this is why I get super passionate about their guidelines. They're trash. And you have to become your own advocate and think clearly for yourself, okay? So they are basically keeping people medicated and confused. And I'll kind of show you how I eat just to avoid things and to keep things, stable in my world. Because if you can stabilize your blood sugars, I am telling you, you are going to feel so good. You're going to feel so good. I'm trying to find where it says, I believe that oftentimes when you guys go to the medical community, you're being told that you can eat 50 to 65 grams of carbs at every meal. That's the information that's total trash. I don't care if you are a type 1 or a type 2. It's really bad information because what's happening is you're spiking your sugars. Your body is releasing insulin to deal with the sugar to get it into the cell. So no matter what, if you keep spiking like this, if this is your life, you just keep on spiking because you're just going to live on the fringes. You're going to live on the fringes of pushing that envelope a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. You're going to live in frustration land. I know it because I was really good friends with frustration land. That's where I lived for a really long time until I finally was like, I've got to stop this. And listen, I wasn't even trying to get off of meds because I wasn't on any yet. Okay. So I know what the land looks like. I know what the temperature is. I know what the landscape is. I know who lives there. Like I know this land very well. And that frustration land is because we just want to live on the fringes. And for me, and I was sharing this with somebody this morning, because if you don't know, I do phone consults with people. If you're looking to target your supplementation for insulin resistance, I will help you do that. Now is a really good time. We have that orders of $200 or more are 20% off. That only goes through to tomorrow. But I will do phone consultations, or if you're already one of my customers, you kind of have me in your back pocket and I get to like help you tweak and do stuff like that. But I was talking to somebody this morning about how like I used to reward myself with sweet potato fries. I used to eat too many dates because I was thinking natural sugar was better than nothing, right? That was my life. And I had to finally decide that, listen, if I stop spiking my sugars, I'll stop calling on insulin and insulin will stop storing it all as fat. Like this is a biological conversation and I can't change the biology of what's happening. So this isn't a willpower conversation and it's not a calorie in, calorie out conversation and it's not so many things, but you cannot out supplement the constant spiking of sugars. That doesn't exist. Now you can support your body and you can get those sugars to come down, insulin to come down. You can get those to come down. That was a really weird sound. I have no idea where that came from. I think I was trying to go like chink, 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 you know, like a train. Chink, chink, chink. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Don't pay any attention to me in my brain. You can get things to come down. You can get things to work better. You can even get really good lab results. Like, and praise God, like you want better lab results. You want better A1C. You want better visceral fat numbers. You want better like blood pressure. And you can get all of those things and never lose a pound, but still be thankful that you're getting those labs. But in order to really move that needle on the weight, you can't keep eating the way you're eating if you've been eating the standard American diet. That ain't going to happen. Like that's living in fantasy land. So I'm just telling you. And then some of you are already, you come to the table and you say to me, I need to know how to eat. Or no, I'm already eating this, 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 and this. I just need some tweaking. Perfect. And then we tweak and then all of a sudden it takes off for you, right? So people are at different stages. So this is what I basically do when I'm viewing food now. And in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women Facebook group, when we do our 5-day challenge, I always show you like my pantry and my fridge. I do like a reveal and stuff like that because I want you to see, like, that's not where I started. And it took me a while. It took me 3 to 4 years to trade it all out. That was just me. You can go way, 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 way faster. I was stubborn and I did it alone. I did it without anybody because that's me. I just was like in my own head doing my own stuff. Leave me alone. Right. You could go way faster and you guys go way faster than I ever did. But here's an idea of breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that you can get a thought process and take something away today and begin to apply it right away. How does that sound? So the first thing is that you have to focus on protein. And I know that some people are, the keto conversation is generally high fat, moderate protein. According to Maria Emmerich and even the results that I have gotten, I flip that and it's high protein, moderate, good fat. And that makes all the difference in the world. Just FYI, if you didn't know that, it makes a big difference. Think about your goal weight, whatever your goal weight is, 135 pounds, 150 pounds, and then use that as your target for the protein that you want to have every day. That's a very general conversation, but it does work for a lot of people. If that's not really working for you and you need more strict macros, Maria Emmerich has a free macro calculator. Go and look at that. Put in your measurements, put in your weight, tell it that you're sedentary, even if you're not, and get a good guideline. If you're that kind of person that needs that guideline, go for it. Like, right. And then the moderate, really good fat would be like, maybe you're looking at 80 grams of good fat, olive oil, avocado oil, butter, etc. But if you're going to just keep on punching up that fat all day long, you're probably never going to get into fat burning mode. Just a little tip for you there. She teaches PSMF, which was protein sparing modified fast. That's actually taught by, that was developed by, I think, a Harvard person like back in the 70s. And that's where just only 1 or 2 days a week, because you don't want to mess up your hormones, you kind of tamp down the fat, but you don't do that for long periods of time. That can accelerate a little bit. And then your carbs are 20, 30 or less, not nut. So when I wake up in the morning, literally everything that we have been told is complete trash. And it'll either, make you diabetic, or if you are already insulin, make you insulin resistant, or if you're not insulin resistant, or if you are insulin resistant, it keeps you there. So absolutely no cereal. I don't do toast. I don't do oatmeal. I don't do any grain at all. And all of that is grain. And that is what keeps us just circling the medication wagon all the time, because we've been told that was our breakfast food. We've been told by the TV, since the TV existed, that was every commercial that ever hit the TV screen was, this is breakfast food. Don't you understand that's a marketing scheme? Like, they developed that to sell their crops. Okay. Anyway, instead, if you will get up and shoot for 30 grams of protein or more at breakfast, eggs, steak, taco meat, avocados would be a really good fat, chicken sausages, things like that, and you will just pound protein in the morning, you are starting your day off with high food that is blood sugar stabilizing and thermogenic, because it takes zero energy for your body to process fat. So you eat whipped cream, takes zero energy. Your body goes, done, no problemo. If you eat carbohydrates, it goes 5% energy. It goes, okay, and we're done. But when you eat meat, eggs, things that are high protein, stabilizing, do not spike your sugars, it takes like 30% energy to digest. It's like thermogenic food, like you're burning calories digesting protein. I don't know if you know that or not, but that's a really good way to stabilize your blood sugars. Immediately, you will start to feel better. You'll just start to feel better. You're not triggering any like nervous system reaction. You're not triggering sugars. You're not triggering energy that'll crash. You're just calm, stable. You feel satiated. You feel full. You're like, dang, that lasts a long time. And then when I do eat lunch, now, if you're a snacker, snacking is really hard for the insulin resistant person. I'm just going to tell you, because no matter what you eat, the process is still happening. It's just happening on a more manageable level. So you're still creating sugar in your blood because that's what your body wants for fuel. It's not just you're eating sugar, you're eating Snicker bars. You're putting real maple syrup on your white flour pancakes, although all of that is bad. Anything you eat is going to turn into fuel. Your body's preferred fuel is sugar. So it wants to burn sugar. So it's going to take your food, it's going to take your steak and your eggs, it's going to turn it into fuel so that your cells have fuel, so that you have nutrition, etc. And your body is going to really, really, really well, according to the way God made it, it's going to function for you so that you can function. Okay. So no matter what, but if you do just a little bit, like your straight protein, it's just not that much. When you have cereal, oatmeal, skim milk, I mean, the list could go on. What you're doing is you're creating a lot of glucose. And now you have to release a lot of insulin. And when your cell is closed to having sugar go into it for fuel, like this, you are resistant, then all of that excess gets stored as fat. That's why you're frustrated. So snacking of any kind isn't the best idea. Now, am I a snacker? Yes. Do I work on not snacking? Of course I do. Some days I'm just like, wow, I'm super like full and satiated. And then, I'm not eating for 4 hours and I'm super happy about that. That should be normal because then we're not sabotaging ourselves. But then when I do go to have lunch, these are a couple of things that I really do appreciate. Like, have you ever used an Egg Life wrap? Has anybody used those before? You can get them at Walmart or Aldi's. You can get them all over the place now. They used to be a little more rare. Something like $6 for 6 of them, something like that. And in comparison to eating out, super cheap. They look like a flour tortilla. They don't taste like one, but I really love the versatility of an Egg Life wrap because you can put taco meat and salsa and, even a little bit of sour cream, wrap it up and eat it that way. You can warm everything up. I also like doing like ham and cheese and mayonnaise, and this becomes my sandwich trade out. So if I'm in that mood for a ham and cheese sandwich, I'm just going to use Egg Life wraps. They're really quite versatile and amazing. You can get different flavors. I usually use just the plain ones. And oftentimes I buy the plain ones because then I can alternately use it for something sweet. And that might look like homemade whipping cream, which I try not to make all the time at all because it just adds so much fat to my diet that it sabotages my own efforts. But if I want a treat or something like that, it's a great fun go-to, right? I can whip up real whipping cream with some sweetener and some vanilla extract, and I can put that inside of an Egg Life wrap with cinnamon and roll it up kind of like a cannoli. I mean, I'm really stretching it there, but kind of that thought process, and it just tastes really good. Also, too, I like just grabbing like chicken wings, fresh chicken wings, and breading them in pork panko and air frying them. They get super crispy. I like to buy the plain pork panko because a lot of the ones with ingredients are kind of trashy. Hello, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Who's sending me gifts? I can't see. Oh, Carmen, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Do they fall apart at all when you do a wrap? They don't, Carmen. That's a really good question. They're not very rippy. I would say more than anything because they are not like a flour tortilla. We all know, come on, you can't fake a flour tortilla. They're just amazing. We've been really indoctrinated to love that grain and it tastes so dang good. So no, they're not rippy at all. If anything, they kind of are because they are straight egg whites. Maybe somebody would say maybe they could be a little rubbery sometimes. Now, I really do feel like that's kind of very subjective because I don't feel that way when I'm filling them with taco meat and salsa and some shredded cheese or whatever. I'm not feeling that way at all. I just am not. I'm either used to them or I just don't have the same thought process. So I hope that answers your question. I've just used them now for so many years in so many ways that I really appreciate them. You could even do like, you could put one. Oh my gosh, thank you for the puppy. You're so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. TikTok is just a party. It's just a party. Instagram can be a party sometimes too. You can get all sorts of like, fireworks and like hearts and stuff like that, balloons, things like that. But you could take one and you could like put it into a pan with some butter in there and you could put some cheese on there and put another one on top. And, it doesn't crisp like a flour tortilla, but you can kind of get that feeling. And then you could like slice it into pieces, make it feel like it's a quesadilla. You can play around with it. And then sometimes I'll just grab like a couple of chicken thighs and put them in the air fryer. And that's those are my thoughts for kind of lunch in general. Breakfast, I literally eat eggs 7 days a week. Lunch, I kind of change it up again. I do want to point out that I feel like a part of my success is the boring part, the more mundane part of what I do. I'm not looking for 20 recipes that have 10 ingredients each. That's not me. Some people love recipes. They love cookbooks. Maybe you love going to the store and grabbing a bunch of ingredients and creating whatever. That's not me. I'm working my business online. I'm, whatever. I'm doing my own world, and food, even though I still have all, connections because of my upbringing and everything. I'm just eating within my own parameters, and I'm not looking to go spend 3 hours in the kitchen. So even though, now I'll go into another recommendation, like for dinner, even though the keto lasagna is freaking amazing. It is so good. Basically, you take everything that you would use for a regular lasagna, so that you don't even need a recipe on this one. You just need to listen to kind of the description and you'll get it. You're going to use your Italian sausage and your ricotta cheese or your cottage cheese, whichever you prefer, and mozzarella, and then a sugar-free sauce. And you're going to begin to layer it, but instead of using noodles, you are going to use sliced deli chicken breast. Now that may sound weird, but I am telling you, you do not eat lasagna for the noodle. You're not. You're eating it for the stacked layers. And my favorite way to do it is to go to like the deli section of like even Walmart, and you buy, you have them slice the chicken breast on a number 2. You tell them to slice it on a number 2, so it's not as thin and it'll hold. But even though that is amazing, I do not take the time to make. I just don't. It's just my husband and I. So I am boring. I am mundane. I am streamlined. Sometimes I have to venture out because my husband's like, really? Because I'm on my path of doing what I am doing. And I just am like, right? That's what happens. And so we're all the same in certain ways, where we're looking for a little bit of convenience, like an egg life wrap, something like that. We're all looking for the ability to grab and go. And so for that, maybe that's a cheese stick, like a string cheese, or you can get Tillamook beef jerky, even at Walmart, and it's sugar-free. Things like that. So there are grab and go things, but then there is a recognition of you're just not going to completely get away from making food yourself in the kitchen. But that is the best thing that you could do for yourself. So Patty says that she has a hard time eating the egg life wraps. It's not her thing, right? Everybody's going to have their own thought process. Another thing I do like to do with those is take like cream cheese and use it as like cream cheese, and then some brown sugar swerve and cinnamon, and roll them up. That's just another little tippy poo. But anyway, but everything that you do, everything that you eat, ask yourself, is this going to spike my sugars? And there will come a day where you will be enough is enough. There will come that day where you're like, because this was me. I was like, okay, Kirsten, just freaking get it together and stop going to Red Robin and eating sweet potato fries to like reward yourself. If you want to gain ground, if you want to take territory, you're going to have to actually like tweak and tweak and tweak. And it's okay. You're going to be okay. And in fact, you're going to appreciate the results. It's okay. There are other ways that you can reward yourself. Doesn't mean you'll never, ever have a sweet potato fry again. It just means that we're going to do the best we can right now in this season, whatever the season was, whether it was, winter time and the sun wasn't out in Minnesota, or whether it was springtime and you're excited for summer and the food trucks and whatever it is, whatever it looks like, you're going to be okay. It's not a sentence. You're not sentencing yourself to anything. And the last thing that I want to bring up on this whole conversation is I like Dr. Ken Berry's perspective. And this is his perspective. Listen, I know that we can talk about ingredients until we are freaking blue in the face. And I am an ingredient forward thinking person. I used to never pay attention to ingredients. Now I really pay attention to ingredients, but I do not live or die on the hill of, and I've said this many times, you guys already know this. If I go to a restaurant, I know they're going to use seed oils. I'm not going to be able to stop that train. I could make it really challenging. Like I could be very, listen, I also don't have an autoimmune disease. I don't have anything. I got nothing. I'm 60, no meds. I avoided type 2. I'm not looking out for something specific. You might be. So then that's not your plan. Okay. But this is just for the general population. I know I'm in groups. I'm in groups where people are really they are ingredient little kind of they are on it. And it's very strict. I'm not dissing that at all. Very important. Everything we put in our mouth, very important. However, in this conversation of you are switching out your foods, Dr. Ken Berry will say, listen, if you go and buy steak and it's not grass-fed, organic, buy the steak, buy the meat, because let's first stop spiking your sugars. Let's first stop what's getting you into the problem. If you keep spiking your sugars because you are waiting until you can afford grass-fed organic beef, your medications are just going to increase in the meantime, most likely, right? So don't do that. Don't set standards for yourself that you can't keep, and then they keep you from moving forward. Don't do that. Okay? So a good example would be this. Let's say I'm on a road trip, and I travel a lot with my husband for business and for pleasure, whatever, with our family, etc. So we do a lot of little mini trips and stuff. Let's say I'm on a road trip and it's a real road trip, like we're in a car road trip. And I just really am wanting a treat. But I know that if they stop at Dairy Queen, there's nothing there for me. If I stop at a Quick Trip, I don't know. Do y'all have Quick Trips? I don't know. And maybe you stop at a Quick Trip or a gas station that's extended. Probably down south, it's a Buc-ee's. I've never been. I need to go. It's probably like a field trip for me, right? I hear they're amazing. And maybe they're not going to have anything either because they're snow cones and they're, whatever they have. They're not going to have a lot for me. Any ice cream that they're selling, etc. However, there are two things that I know. I know that if I go to a gas station like that, I can go and get myself like an iced sugar-free coffee with some cream in it, because they usually have coffee bars with the syrups. Number two, most every single place will have like Quest bars. Now, last time I looked, and they could have changed, total trash ingredients. I would never normally eat Quest bars. I don't buy them. I don't have them in my house. But if I'm looking for a little something, I'll take a half of a Quest bar, get back in the car and enjoy my treat. And then I'll enjoy the other half later on or the next day. I'm just telling you that that's what, I'm not going to completely halt my path by diving into a Dairy Queen blizzard. Like, that's a major self-sabotage. But I am going to alter ingredient corrections. It's okay. Again, Carmen, thank you so much for just being such a great person today and tapping the screen on TikTok. Getting the information out is so important, you guys. It's so important because you can walk this journey. I'm so passionate. You were not given a terminal diagnosis. This is reversible. This is turnaroundable. Okay. Terry says that her daughter-in-law does not like the egg life wraps either, but she does enjoy them in the lasagna. That's another one. You can use the egg life wraps for lasagna noodles. I forgot about that. Thank you, Terry. And it's not for everybody. My husband and I both now, we're good. I don't know why. To be really honest, I don't know why, because he was a flour tortilla king. Like, anyway, I don't know why. We just have transitioned and we didn't look back, I guess. I don't even know. Anyway, let's see here. Hold on. It's coming. I need a drink of water. So back to the ingredient conversation. Dr. Ken Berry will say, go to McDonald's, order the quarter pounder patties. Just the patties alone. They'll give them to you in a container, and then you can eat them with a knife and a fork. Like, don't hold yourself to such a strict standard on everything when you are just trying to stop your sugars from spiking, calling on insulin, and being put on more medication. Like, let's think this through a little bit, and then you can tweak and tweak and tweak. And that's what I have done, is I've just tweaked and tweaked and tweaked. So I always teach those two things. I teach food ingredient trade outs, just like what we talked about. I teach the targeted supplementation because that's where I started, because it took me 3 to 4 years to trade out my foods. Like, you just have to understand. I needed a little help with my food noise. I needed a little help with my sugar cravings. Just like everybody else is talking about the injections and they need a little help, I did too. And that's why I started with the trio. That's where I started this whole conversation. So just so that you know exactly what I'm talking about, I'm going to share this with you. It'll take me about 3 minutes just to give you a share. Everything right now, if I tell you nothing, you need to hear this. All of my customers need to hear, or people who have wanted to start and you haven't yet. Orders of $200 or more right now are 20% off. And it's only through tomorrow. The last time they did it, it was in November. And before then, it was never. So this is not like you're going to get a text every 3 days saying that there's a 20% off sale. That's not how this goes. So if you are needing to stock up, needing to get ready for summer, needing to think about getting your sugars under control, needing to lose weight, whatever it is for you, this is the time. Like, don't delay, don't sabotage yourself. Okay. And you can always reach out to me. I'm available, and I can jump on the phone with you if you need to have some recommendations given, or we can just voice text, whatever it is for you. You guys are so good. You're very good at telling me pieces of your story so that we can navigate together. And it's very quick. It's very simple. So anyway, the trio are the 3 supplements. Let me just give you clarity. So the trio are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Viewing everything through the lens of insulin resistance is, in my opinion, and that's just where I am on my platform, it is the key. Insulin is a hormone, and it's turning upside down all of your other hormones. It's also creating things like leaky gut. So this is the trio if you're looking to bring down your sugars, your insulin, help your liver, and boost your metabolism. That's what you're looking at right there. Okay. Now, insulin resistance is creating leaky gut, and that is a very big issue for a lot of people for so many reasons. I was just talking to somebody this morning about just sharing some information because she needs to get her sugars down, but she has a lot of, let's see, my ring is flipping. She has a lot of depression. I shouldn't say she has a lot. She just said she struggles with depression. Well, when insulin resistance creates leaky gut and 90% of your serotonin is made in your gut, there you go. There's a connection there. So the gut-brain axis that we talk about, it's for real. I'm just saying, okay, it's for real. So I always talk about the gut primer. If you know that you have a messed up gut, you have a messed up GI tract, you know that you have leaky gut, you know that you have fatty liver, you know that you have I have somebody that has short gut syndrome, and so therefore she was running to the bathroom all the time with diarrhea. I have people that are constipated on the other side of the spectrum that started the gut primer. Within a few days, they were off of their over-the-counter medications. It's 6 products in one. It's not a greens product, even though it looks like one. It is literally, it's fermented greens and alkaline spices and digestive enzymes, pre and postbiotics, and then fiber from the fruits and extracts of vegetables. And it's all off of organic farming. So But the deal is that this has been such a game changer. And especially if you do not have a gallbladder, I'm just telling you, to do something for your gut is, some of you need to start with this. Some of you need to do this first and then add the trio next month to it. That's what some of you need to do. And you know who you are. If your gut is really messed up, think about the gut primer. And if you need a cart for this, just let me know. I'll get you just say gut reset and I'll help you. And then a probiotic. I use this probiotic every day on my tongue. It's 5 strains and they are alive. The reason why it's not in there is because if you zhuzh up your probiotic like that with a frother, you could kill the probiotics. You don't want to do that. So if you need a gut reset, and some of you should start with this, I'm just saying, that's why I like having conversations with you guys, because I can pick and pluck and match and customize for you. And then the last one is, you're like, you know what? I just don't know about that whole thing. I don't even know if I'm insulin resistant for sure. I suspect, but I'm just not, I don't know. But I do want to look better in pictures this summer. And I want to stop hiding behind, pillows and people in pictures. That's where the orange pixie stick comes in. This is a sports nutrition product that has been developed with an extract. It's a clinical dose of an extract that targets visceral fat. It is made as a pre-workout, like you don't feel fuzzy from it, like some pre-workouts do, because it doesn't have that ingredient in it. But it is meant to enhance a workout. Now, my clientele, you, in general, are not gym rats. And a lot of you are not adding exercise to your routine yet. Regardless, so many testimonies. 90 days of putting this on your tongue. It tastes like orange pixie stick, like 3.5 inches off from underneath the bust, 2 inches off the waist, 1 inch off the hips. That's one person. Another one was very similar. She actually did it in 1 month. For whatever reason, her body responded. This is about your body responding, and it's targeting that visceral fat. If you don't know what that is, that's the fat that's in your liver and around your organs. It's the dangerous fat, and it's emitting hormones and inflammation. So you can imagine what's happening when you're doing that, the goodness that you're doing for your body. I have people that have shared with me visceral scans, visceral fat body scans showing the decrease in visceral fat. I have people that are sharing with me their testimony. This just launched in August. The inches that are lost. And my biggest recommendation is go 90 days on, 30 days off, and then do another round. Okay. So that's a lot of information and I get it. But everything I just told you is all around insulin resistance. Every single one, including the orange pixie stick, because it does help with insulin sensitivity. Okay. It's not marketed for that, but that's what that extract does. So I'm just telling you, like, everything I do is all around insulin resistance and getting you to go towards insulin sensitivity. And so if you have any questions, always reach out to me and be like, you know what? I saw you on your live. I need a trio cart, or I need a cart with the trio and the gut reset, or I need a cart with just the gut reset. I need a cart just with the pixie stick, the orange pixie stick. Okay. Always ask me, because let's get something that works for you, that makes sense to you and that you can implement. Some people are like, I'm such a mess. I'm such a wreck. I need something that's so easy to start with, and I need to build on that. That's okay too, because that's where I was. I mean, I never supplemented a day in my life, except for, I always say, ibuprofen, Tylenol, and Metabolife, which got banned. But I was desperate. So I'm just telling you. But that deal is only for today and tomorrow, the $200, 20% off. So if that's like resonating with you, just like reach out, we'll fix it for you. We'll get it worked out. Tomorrow we'll be back here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's what we do Monday through Friday. And we'll talk about another connection with insulin resistance. I hope this was helpful for people. I know that I did a poll in the group, and you guys really said that you wanted to know more about food and what I eat in a day. And so I wanted to be able to come and, and of course there are other things, but it's like, I mean, you just add one recipe at a time to your repertoire. You add one ingredient, you trade out one ingredient at a time, whatever. that's what you do. But I'll be back here at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm always live on my Facebook, my YouTube, my Instagram, TikTok, all of it at the same time. We've been doing this over a year now. So this is very exciting. And the group is called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And we'll do another free 5-day insulin resistant reset challenge in May. In fact, I think I'll get off here today and I'll create the new banner for the May dates. How does that sound? And then you have another thing that you can look forward to that can help to keep you on track, because you actually do need a track to run on to get the results that you're looking to get. This isn't an overnight thing, you guys. This isn't. I'm not promising you magic or jazz hands or anything. I am just offering you a blueprint that many, many, many of you have succeeded on now. I was the first, and now many of you have followed. And it's just a blueprint. But then we get to do it together. And I feel like that adds to the success of what you're trying to accomplish. You don't feel so lost or disconnected all the time. And I feel like that's really important. So reach out. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm always so glad to see you. And I'll see you back here again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Love you guys.